Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and I'm just sitting here drinking my morning coffee. Looking sexy as hell as usual. For those of you who say I don't look sexy as hell drinking my coffee, nobody cares what you think. Didn't ask you shit. Alright, over to the topic of aspartame. This came up in my comments section. Came up and someone asked me, they're like, hey, you always drink that aspartame stuff. Would you cover a little bit the safety of it? And yeah, and this is where I think people are missing the data. They're not looking at the research on this and what's been said. And before we even jump into artificial sweeteners versus table sugar or high fructose corn syrup. By the way, if you think one of those is particularly worse than the other, you missed the biology. We already have data showing how dangerous they are, particularly in excess. We know how much refined fructose contributes to obesity, diabetes, all this other stuff, right? We're fully aware of this. And I'm not saying it converts into fat, because it doesn't. Right? Keep that in mind. Carbohydrates do not really turn into body fat at a significant rate in humans. It is in rats, not humans. But the metabolic health effects are pretty massive, and to the point to where we know at this point fructose's role in the obesity crisis. It's pretty well understood, like it's known. That is what actually causes the obesity, though, dietary fat. But fructose helps create the metabolic syndrome involved in it. So before people jump in and say, well, I can do, no. Artificial sweeteners are arguably 100 times safer. But I'm only going to talk about aspartame. I'm aware there are others with different issues, but aspartame is the most commonly used one. It's the one most researched, and it's relatively benign. We say relatively because we'll talk about the potential risk here. And what people need to understand, the potential risks have never been replicated in humans. So that's what we need to understand, and what the standards are on it and what are set. So the WHO and the FDA have very different ideas on it. The FDA has conducted plenty of its own research and just largely rejected what the WHO has said on it. It's like, that's nice, but you don't have evidence. And as far as the FDA is concerned, they're like, we've studied it for decades. We've set what we call the safe limits, and if you stay within that, we have zero concerns. And we'll get to a moment what those safe limits are. Those safe limits, they also are saying, this is what we've determined is a safe limit. We're pretty much sure this is a safe limit, but we don't know for a fact that it's not. What is that on my shirt? It's stuck to my shirt. All right. They're like, we don't know that it's not safe beyond this. We just know that it is safe up to this point. All right, so what the WHO has said, and this is the topic, it always comes up. The WHO has put aspartame in a category, and this is what people need to understand, where we think it is probably carcinogenic in humans at a very, very, very high amount. Okay. However, that amount is too high for us to test. In other words, we can't ethically force feed a human enough aspartame to, or a group of them. It's not ethical for us to force feed them this, with a feeding tube, to actually say for sure that it is. We think it probably is. We know the pathways, and that if it's consumed in great excess, it could contribute to cancer, and it probably does. Right? The problem is the amounts. We're not talking about 1 liter of Diet Coke a day or a 2-liter bottle. They would have to give it to you in pure powder form, because you can't drink enough of it. The water in there would kill you first. Does that make sense? You would actually die from the water intake long before you reach the limit. So you can't reach it through diet soda, of the numbers they're even concerned with. It is like you would have to just be eating spoonfuls of it. The straight powder all day long. Like a giant bowl. Like maybe fill this whole coffee cup all the way up to the top with the powder, and just, raw dog it every day for like 5 years straight. All right, so we come over to the FDA stance. The FDA has said, yeah, that's nice, but you can't prove it, therefore we don't care. We've done tons of safety testing. It's fine. And really the FDA is like, the regular foods on the shelf that you're eating already are 100 times worse. Like, you're allowed to eat McDonald's. People, come on. All right? So there's a point where like, we don't care. Like, you people are already eating McDonald's and stuff. You're already eating garbage. This shouldn't be on your concern list. So they've set a safety number because they have to. They have to give you a safe limit on everything. And their number, they've given it in milligrams, and I don't have the exact number of milligrams in front of me. They're like, yeah, we will say that it's safe up to this point. So for context, as far as those cans, like the regular cans of Diet Coke, their safety limit is something like 17 cans a day. Okay? And they're like, we believe and we're pretty sure it's safe and causes no problems up to that intake. We don't know for sure if there could be risk going beyond that. So this is what we've given you as a safe limit. This is what our testing has determined is safe. Keeping in mind, they've also said we've never found actual problems with it. And again, keeping in mind, this is the same FDA that will tell you there are problems with excess table sugar, with excess saturated fat. Like they're telling you, yeah, these things are a problem. And here's the thing. This is what the data is. And people can argue all that they want. They can present whatever conspiracy theories they want, but you can't prove it. You don't have data. And if you legitimately think that there's a grand conspiracy to make people eat less table sugar, I want people to think about that for a moment. For this to be some major conspiracy, right? For this to be some major conspiracy, you would have to then be saying that some evil entities want you to eat table sugar, or they don't want you to eat table sugar, okay? Because that's what you're replacing. You're replacing refined sugars with this stuff. And we have pretty dang good data on excess sugar intake. So I want people to again use some critical thinking. If you believe this is government trying to make you eat aspartame, you're saying there's a conspiracy to reduce your sugar intake. Because this is what it's replacing. I'm only half awake. I probably mixed that up. Yeah. But think about how crazy that mindset is. So what are you going to do? Eat sugar? Your other options is just not eat sweetened beverages and put sweeteners in anything. Of course, that's your other option. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys next time.